Namo. As you know, friends, today Sanātana Dharma is in news, and the reason is Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin, who is the Minister for Youth Welfare and Sports Development of the government of Tamil Nadu. The ANI tweeted, quoting him as, I appreciate the naming of this conference to Sanātana Abolition Conference. He was at a conference. And later he said, few things cannot be opposed. That should be abolished only. We can't oppose dengue, mosquitoes, malaria, or corona. We have to eradicate this. That's how we have to eradicate Sanātana. Rather opposing Sanātana, it should be eradicated. The name Sanātana is from Sanskrit. It is against social justice and equality. That's what Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin said. So we'll understand what Sanātana Dharma is in this video. We'll also understand how it can never be eradicated. And finally, we'll point out some ironies and some hypocrisies which are evident in the speeches and in such speeches and in the lives of such people. So what is Sanātana? Let's try to understand what the word Sanātana means and what Sanātana Dharma means. I have earlier done a video on what Dharma is in both English and Hindi. I'll provide a link in the description of this video, so if you're interested, you may watch that video on what Dharma is, where I've quoted so many scriptures about what Dharma is. Now let's try to understand what Sanātana is. The word Sanātana in Sanskrit comes from two parts. One is Sana, and the other is the suffix Tana. The word Sana means at all times, or it can also be used to mean at all places, but majorly it is used to mean at all times. And the suffix Tana, when occurring after a word which indicates time, has the sense of occurring in. So for example, the word Pura means old times or ancient times. So the word Puratana means something which is ancient, something which is from the old times. Similarly, the word Adya means today. That's where the Hindi word Aaj comes from. And the word Adyatana means which occurs today, that which occurs today, or which is modern, or which is contemporary. Similarly, the word Sayam means evening, and Sayantana means that which occurs in the evening. So, since the word Sana means at all times, the word Sanātana means that which occurs or that which exists at all times. What does Sanātana mean? Sanātana means that which exists at all times. Sana, at all times. Tana, exists or occurs in. So something which occurs or exists at all times is Sanātana. Sana bhava iti Sanātana. So that's the meaning of the word Sanātana. It is something which is nitya, it is something which is dhruva, which is eternal, which is not momentary. And that is what Sanātana Dharma is, because Sanātana Dharma, if you read the Sanātana texts, what is Sanātana Dharma? Sanātana Dharma, for example, Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat, Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyan, Na Bruyat, Satyam Apriyam, Priyam Cha Nanritam Bruyad, Esha Dharma Sanātana. One should speak the truth, Satyam Bruyat. One should speak sweet, one should speak in soft words. So, Priyam Bruyat. Na bruyat satyam apriyam. One should not speak a truth which is unpleasant. Priyam cha na nritam bruyat. One should not speak lies which are pleasant to hear. Esha dharma sanatana. This is Sanātana Dharma. What else is Sanātana Dharma? As I covered in my earlier video on what Dharma is, the 10 parts of Dharma. Dhriti kshama damosteyam shaucham indriya nigraha. Dhir vidya satyam akrodho dashakam dharma lakshanam. These are all eternal values. Dhriti is patience. Kshama is forbearance or forgiving people. Dhamma is control. Asteya is not stealing or appropriating which is not your own. Shaucham is having a pious life. Indriya nigraha, keeping your senses under control. Dhi is applying your discrimination. Vidya is learning. Satyam is truth. Akrodha is absence of anger. These are the 10 signs of Dharma, which is Sanātana. So how can you eradicate truth? How can you eradicate patience? How can you eradicate forbearance? if you're thinking of eradicating all these things, then where will you be? In what sort of a world would you be? You cannot eradicate values. You can eradicate practices. You cannot eradicate values which are eternal, which are timeless. So talking about eradicating Sanatana is nonsensical. It's baloney, as the Britishers say. So it cannot be done. It is eternal, and these are universal values. So nobody can eradicate Sanātana Dharma. Sanātana Dharma has outlived, if not all, then most other ideologies on this planet. So that was about Sanātana and Dharma. Now I'll briefly mention some other meanings of Sanātana. For example, in the Mahabharata, a nirukti of the word Sanātana is given, and the context is the Varaha incarnation or avatara. So it is described that when the Varaha avatara, when he roared, then he was described as Sanātana. And the verse in the Mahabharata, this is from the Shanti Parvan, chapter 202, verse number 26. It goes, Nadena tena mahata Sanātana iti smrita. So he was with that great Nada or Nadana, and therefore Varaha was Sanādana, and this word became Sanātana. It is a nirukti, it is not a grammatical derivation, but this is what is a mystical explanation of the word Sanātana. It is with Nada, it is with resonance, it is with vibration. So Sanātana is something which is always thriving, which is always vibrating, and it's like the roar of the Varaha. So that is Sanātana. Another sort of a nirukti is given in the context of the name Sanātani of Durga. Interestingly, Durga is the name of Udhayanidhi Stalin's mother, and we all respect her because she offered recently she offered a golden crown to the Guruvayur temple. So she is a follower of the Sanātana Samskriti and the Sanskrit Samskriti, and her son talks about eradicating Sanātana. How ironical, as I mentioned earlier. So what is it that is said? What is said about Sanātani, the name of Durga? In the Brahma Vaivarta Purana, it is in the Prakriti Khanda, which is the second Khanda. It is in the 57th chapter, verse number 27. Sarva kale sana prokto vistrite cha taniti cha sarvatra sarva kale cha vidyamana sanatani. So why is the Durga or the goddess known as Sanatani? Because the word Sana is used to, the word Sana means at all times. And the word Tani means somebody who has spread. So from the root Tanu Vistare, this is also a nirukti. And Sarvatra Sarvakalecha Vidyamana Sanatani. She who exists at all places and at all times is Sanatani. So we can apply this explanation to the word Sanatana also. That which exists at all places and at all times is Sanatana. That is Nitya. And Dharma in general. Dharma is not religion. Dharma is not what even a sect. Dharma is eternal values. Dharma means eternal human values, and because they are eternal, by definition, Dharma is Sanatana. So any Dharma has to be Sanatana. Otherwise, it is not Dharma, it is Adharma. Talks of eradicating Sanatana Dharma or Sanatana Dharma are nonsensical, utterly nonsensical. As I learned, some FIRs have been filed. There's been a lot of heat, but Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin has refused to back down. There are so many ironies in his statement, because when he says the word, as the ANI quoted, the name Sanatana is from Sanskrit. It is against social justice and equality. Somehow he's implying that anything which is from Sanskrit is against social justice and equality. So let's look at names from Sanskrit in his own family, starting from Karunanidhi. Karunanidhi means the ocean or the treasure of compassion. So that is a name from Sanskrit. It is a Sanatana name. It is a Sanskrit name. I think he should think about eradicating that name also. Then Karunanidhi is his grandfather's name. His grandmother's name is Dayalu, which is also a Sanskrit name, which is also a Sanatana name. So, he should think about that as well. As I mentioned, his mother's name is Durga, which is a very Sanatana name, which is a very Sanskrit name. And we mentioned that some days back, Honorable Udhayanidhi Stalin offered a crown to the Guruvayur temple, which is a Sanatana temple, which is the word Guruvayu is also a Sanskrit origin word. So that, plus I hear his daughter's name is Tanmaya, which is a distorted version of a Sanskrit name. It should be Tanmayi for a female, but that's also a Sanskrit name. So if Udhayanidhi Stalin is against Sanskrit name, if he is against anything that is Sanskrit or Sanatana, then probably he should introspect and think about his own name, Udhayanidhi, which is Udaya means somebody who's rising, and Nidhi means a treasure. So if he is serious about what he's saying, then he should start his charity at his home. So a lot of ironies and a sense of hypocrisy is what I get from his statements. Now, of course, his statements may be entirely political, because Tamil Nadu is one state where probably you can survive and even win elections after saying such things. So he's playing to his gallery. However, even in Tamil Nadu, I see it is such a beautiful confluence of the Sanskrit and the Tamil languages and culture. Most of the names are still Sanskrit names, even after so many years of opposition to Sanskrit and Sanatana in Tamil Nadu. For the last 50 or 60 years, the entire economy of Tamil Nadu, the entire touristic economy of Tamil Nadu thrives on Sanatana culture, on Sanskrit-rich Sanatana culture and Tamil-rich Sanatana culture. So it is it is just a political statement. He's playing to his gallery. Maybe he's an atheist. He claims he's an atheist, but even if he's an atheist, the irony is, it's a strange irony in India, that you can say such a thing only about Sanātana Dharma, only about Hinduism. Had he spoken in such words about any other faith, it would have been catastrophic. It would have been a disaster. It would have been, heads would have rolled, metaphorically, of course. Not alluding to any slogans of severing heads, but heads would have rolled somewhere. Some speechwriter would have been fired. You cannot talk about Islam or Sikhism or even Buddhism, Christianity in such terms. You can only talk about Hinduism or Sanātana Dharma in such terms. You can only compare Sanātana Dharma or Hinduism to things like malaria, dengue, mosquitoes in this country. How ironical it is when this country has an 80% Hindu population. So, well, politics is like that. People are incorrigible and they speak anything and everything. So, yeah, I unequivocally I criticize his statement. It is nonsensical and it is very unfortunate and it is insulting to a lot of people in this country. So that's all for now. I think I think it's an entirely political statement. Now, before we go, one final word on Sanatana. Sanatana is also a name of Krishna, and as you remember in the Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna praises Krishna, he says, Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam tvamasya vishwasya param nidhanam tvamavyayah shashvata dharma gopta sanatanastvam purusho matome. So Arjuna says, O Krishna, you are the Sanatana Purusha, you are the eternal being, and you are the Shashvata Dharma Gopta, you are the eternal protector of Dharma. So the words Sanatana and Dharma are very much related. Krishna is Sanatana and he is the eternal protector of Dharma. Dharma is Sanatana. Sanatana is Dharma. It cannot be eradicated. It is eternal. It is timeless because these are universal values. It is based on a set of universal values which I quoted earlier. So nobody can even touch Sanatana Dharma. It has outlived everything else, all other ideologies, and it will always flourish as the Nirukti in the Brahma Vaivarta Purana says, Visrite Chataniti. So Sanatana, always spread, always growing, always existing. That is what Sanatana is. That's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I request you to please subscribe to my channel and help me reach the goal of 50,000 subscribers. Please refer this channel to your friends and your family. And please keep suggesting topics in your comments. I will pick them up, time permitting, and explain them as per whatever I know and whatever I've studied. Thank you. Namo.